So hello everyone, welcome to my new video. So today's topic for discussion is gonioscopy. So gonioscopy is a very important procedure that should be performed in each and every suspected cases of angle closure in our day-to-day OPD practice. Okay, so as an optometrist, we all have the basic idea about gonioscopy and how to perform gonioscopy. Okay, so from this video, you will get an idea about gonioscopy properly. Okay. So the objective of this presentation is that what is gonioscope and what is gonioscopy. After that, what to see in gonioscope, what is the actual procedure to do gonioscopy, and grading of anterior chamber angle that we are going to discuss in this video. Okay. So gonioscopy refer to the technique. Gonioscope is the instrument and gonioscopy is the technique that is used to view the anterior chamber angle for evaluation, management, and also detection of different types of abnormalities in the anterior chamber angle of the eye. So gonioscopy, gonio means angle and scopy means to examine. Okay. So the principle of gonioscopy is total internal reflection. So to understand this total internal reflection, we have the basic idea about refraction. And in refraction, there is involvement of two medium. One is denser medium, another is rarer medium, and the boundary between the two medium is called the interface. Okay. So we all know that when light ray go from rarer medium to denser medium, then it moves towards the normal. Okay. And when light go from a denser medium to rarer medium, then it go away from the normal. Okay. So total internal reflection is an optical phenomena where, as an example, we can take let's say light rays. So light rays arriving at the border of the two different medium, one is rarer and another is denser medium. The wave, there is the light wave, not go to the first medium and reflect it back to the medium that is originated, from where it is originated. That is called as total internal reflection. So here the light rays do not go to the second medium. Okay, suppose here in this picture it is given, this is the denser medium, this is the rarer medium. So here we can see that the light rays are getting placed in a specific angle. This is called as angle of incidence and this is called as angle of refraction. And from Snell's law, we know that sin I by sin r is equal to mu. And this angle of incidence and angle of refraction cannot be equal to each other. And the more the angle of incidence, the more will be the angle of refraction. So suppose here the light rays fall on a specific angle, then it is having a specific angle of refraction. Now suppose let's say the angle of incidence, that means the light rays fall in a specific angle where the angle of refraction will be 90 degree. That means light rays is going through the interface. So the angle where the incident light rays fall, that make the angle of refraction 90 degree, is called the critical angle. So the angle so the critical angle of water is 49 degree. That means if light rays go from water to air and if light ray fall on 49 degree on the normal, then the light ray will the angle of refraction will be 90 degree and the light rays will go along the border, that means along the interface. So if the incident angle become greater than the critical angle, then light ray do not go to the second medium, that is the rarer medium, and it reflected back to the first medium, that is the denser medium from where it is originated. So this phenomena is called as total internal reflection. Okay. So what is the indication of gonioscopy? So here first of all, if you are having a patient of suspected angle closure, then you should perform gonioscopy to clear your doubt. Otherwise, any sign of angle closure defect like glaucom flecken. So what is actually glaucom flecken? So glaucom flecken, it is an lens anterior subcapsular opacity which is prior to lens epithelium necrosis, and that result from an attack of acute angle closure glaucoma. So this is called as glaucom flecken, and also NVI, that is the neovascularization of iris. It is happen mostly in the diabetic mellitus cases or CSCR cases. So if there is presence of NVI, then there is definitely presence of NVA, that is neovascularization of angle. So if you are getting a patient having NVI, then you should perform gonioscopy to rule out that vascularization is not in the angle or those things. Okay. So here this is the neovascularization of angle. You can see the blood vessel in the angle also. Okay, fine. So another is the history of using anti-glaucoma medication. Here I just put an AGM drug. So there is different types of anti-glaucoma medication. Just for as an example, I just put this picture. Here also the rise IOP more than 22 mmHg. So when you are performing the Goldmann applanation tonometry and you found that the IOP is more than 22, then you should perform gonioscopy to rule out any type of to differentiate or to rule out open angle and closer angle. Okay, so because the rise IOP can lead to damage to the optic nerve, that can lead to glaucoma and blunt trauma. So do not perform gonioscopy to open globe injury because it can lead to more perforation. Okay, and pigment dispersion syndrome. So pigment dispersion syndrome is a condition where the pigment of the iris get detached from the iris and freely flow in the aqueous humor, and ultimately it block the drainage channel of the angle, and so that the aqueous humor cannot pass through the clavicular meshwork and it elevate the IOP. So if this condition lead to for a long run, then it can lead to damage to the optic nerve, and that is called as pigmentary glaucoma. And here you can see that this specific appearance is known as a Krukenberg spindle. Okay, so where not to perform gonioscopy, if there is presence of bulle and also perforating eye damage, you should not perform gonioscopy. So there is two types of gonioscopy method, direct method and indirect method. Why it is called direct method? Because you are putting this lens over the ocular surface and directly you are seeing the angle. You are not using any mirror or those things, you are directly seeing the angle, so it is called as direct method. And in indirect method we use mirrors to see the angle. Okay, so this is the direct method, and this is the Cope gonio lens that is placed to see the uh, anterior chamber angle. Okay, so the direct gonioscopy method, here the Cope gonioscope is directly placed on the surface of the cornea after applying some lubricating eye drop fluid over this corneal surface to avoid any type of damage to the corneal surface. So the refractive index of the lens placed and the cornea is almost same. So the refractive index of this Cope lens is 1.40 and refractive index of cornea is 1.37. So the incident ray travel through the gonio lens is undeviated because the incident ray, when it reflected back, it reached the lens at an angle less than the critical angle, so it directly travel through the Cope lens to outside. Okay, so as a result, you can see directly visualize the angle properly. Just the disadvantage of this direct method is that you need to make the patient to lie in supine position, so it is not always possible to lie the patient on supine position. So there is different types of direct gonio lens like Cope gonio lens or Swan-Jacob gonio lens. Okay, and here indirect gonioscopy. So why it is called indirect? Because we are applying mirror to see the angle. So in this method, Goldmann gonio lens are used mostly, where mirrors are placed which are used to reflect the light that are coming from the anterior chamber angle. Okay, so to see the superior angle, you need to see the inferior mirror, and to see the inferior angle, you need to see the superior mirror. Why? Because here you can see the light rays that are coming from the angle are reflected to the inferior and then directly going to the eye. So this is how it is seen. So if you are using indirect gonioscopy to visualize the angle, then after putting the Goldmann or mostly Sussman gonio lens are used, where 4 mirror gonio lens are mostly preferable to see, because it actually give us the chance to see the 4 angles at a time. So after putting it, you just see the different mirrors to see the inferior angle, you need to see the superior mirror. To see the superior angle, you need to see the inferior mirror. To see the temporal, you need to see the nasal mirror. So this is how indirect gonio lens are used. So there is different types of indirect gonio lens available, like 1 mirror gonio lens, 2 mirror, 3 mirror, Sussman, Zeiss gonio lens, etc. Okay, so what is the indentation? Indentation gonioscopy. So indentation, why it is called as indentation? Because you are giving an indentation pressure, or so you are giving a little pressure. Like indentation gonioscopy, it is the strategy that help to determine the angle closure that you are seeing is actually angle closure or it is due to synechia. So differentiate between the appositional and synechial angle closure, you need to do the indentation gonioscopy. So this method can be performed by using Sussman lenses. So this is the procedure of gonioscopy. Here first of all you need to explain the procedure to the patient properly. After that clean the gonio lens nicely, apply the lubricating fluid in it to avoid any type of rubbing. After that put anesthesia to the patient eye. So here PT indicate patient. Okay. Prepare the slit lamp by making the adjustment in retro illumination. So sometimes in the practical life we see that by using retro illumination it sometimes give the unwanted reflection. So you can tilt the illumination little bit 10 to 15 degree also to see the angle properly. Okay. Gently move the patient eyelid from the cornea and place the corneal lens over the corneal surface, and slit height should be medium, and magnification should be set at 10x. Okay, so this is how you and see the angle. Try to see the angle. Now this is how the angle will look like. First of all, it will start from the Swelby's line, then ATM, and then PTM. So trabecular meshwork having two parts, anterior trabecular meshwork and posterior trabecular meshwork. So anterior trabecular meshwork is known as non-pigmented trabecular meshwork, and posterior trabecular meshwork is known as pigmented trabecular meshwork. After this, scleral spore and ciliary body band are also there. So this is the Schaefer grading of anterior chamber angle. So here during the gonioscopy, if you find that ciliary body band is seen, then it is ACA, that is anterior chamber angle grading 4. That means angle is wide open and it is 35 to 45 degree anterior chamber angle. That is the normal thing. Now during gonioscopy, if you see only up to the scleral spore, cannot see the ciliary body, it is indicating a grade 3 ACA. If you only see the trabecular meshwork, it is grade 2, and only Swelby's line grade 1. So during gonioscopy, if you are only seeing the trabecular meshwork or Swelby's line, it means grade 2 and 1 are indicating some risk factor of developing the glaucoma, but 4 and 3 are less risk. Okay. This is the Van Heri grading. I already uploaded a dedicated video on Van Heri grading. If you didn't watch that video, then go and watch the video so that you will understand it nicely. But here I am also telling. So here during Van Heri grading, you need to make the optic section and place the slit on the extreme periphery and see the compare peripheral anterior chamber depth with corneal thickness. So if PSCT is more than 1 CT, it is very normal wide open angle. If PSCT is more than 1/4 CT to 1/2 CT, it indicates grade 3, and if PSCT is equal to 1/4 CT or less than 1/4 CT, it is indicating narrow and extremely narrow angle. So at that time, if in Van Heri grading you are getting is 2 to 1, then it indicates that there is angle closure suspect and you need to do the gonioscopy to the patient. Okay. So this is how what the angle actually a wide open angle look like, 20 to 45 degree. Actually the normal anterior chamber angle is 35 degree. Okay. So this is the little shallow angle. There is angle 20 here, 10, and here totally closed angle. Okay. So that's all friends. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and I hope this video help you to understand something more about gonioscopy, and try to do gonioscopy in your day-to-day OPD practice so that it will improve your skill also, and also it will give you the idea that how actually anterior chamber angle look like. Okay. Thank you so much.